Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass to Move. And for today's episode, a huge game for us this season. Benfica versus Braga. Of course, we are away from home, and as you can tell from the league table, we're still top, so that's good. But of course, Benfica are just a single point away from us. Sporting have played their game, which keeps us keeps them still 1 point away from us. But of course, we can widen that gap. Porto still 19 points, still struggling in the Europa League spots, but of course they're not too far away from us. They haven't played their game in hand just yet, so as in the 10th game, which is what we're going to play too, and that still makes them 3 points away, so they can still definitely catch up. It's not like it's the end of the world. Very tight here between the top four. Goimeras, our rivals, are still struggling well, not really struggling, I suppose. They are doing quite well to be in the Europa League spot, but they are 8 points away from us, so there's that's where the table starts to have a bit of a gap. In terms of what happened since the last episode, so we did show you that game against Ajax, the 1-0 defeat. After that, we did manage to win 3 games in a row. A very important one here in particular in beating Dynamo away from home. Raniel managing to score a hat-trick and Xhaka also scoring in the 89th minute. It's perfect for us. The game against Real was kind of straightforward, a routine win. Taca de Portugal 3rd round cup game, and so it's still early on and we were playing against a semi-pro team, so it should have been in fact an even bigger win in truth. But anyways, a 3-0 is all that's 1-0 is all that's needed really. The point is to win, and we did that, and against Boavista we did the same. 2-0, Danilo and Goiano managed to get on the score sheet himself as well, the right back scoring in the 86th minute, just to make things a bit more comfortable for us and easing out our win, I suppose. The only disappointing result was the game against Goimeras, where we have unfortunately drew, but it wasn't the end of the world, of course, because we still managed to stay top basically. So Eduardo and Raniel, as you can see, had terrible games here, and it really wasn't the time for it. Pedro Santos as well, having a bit of a quiet game there for us, and as the top 3 for us, the front 3 rather, it is very important for them to perform on that day in particular. In terms of top goal scorers, as you can see, Eduardo has been caught up by Danilo and Raniel, managing all to get up to 6 goals as well. Guyano still leading the highest average rating spot, and or table, whatever you want to really call it. Santos as well just climbed all the way up for assists in 7, and Danilo still managed his to keep his pass completion rate really well too, so that's good for us to see. Danilo, of course, also leading the yellow cards, most yellow cards in 9 yellow cards. Last time we met around, I think it was 6 yellow cards. So of course that kind of shows what type of role he's doing as a ball-winning midfielder. Very typical for a ball-winning midfielder to pick up a yellow. And still just a single red card for Jabas, so it's kind of good to see. Not too much of a stupid players, I suppose, if you want to call it. But yeah, I think we can just get into today's game. We can talk more about the games as this game is being played, and explain more about who we've selected and who's missing out. So let's just kick off, let the game warm up. Luxan will finally get his number. I think he's featuring on the bench. I'd be surprised if he's starting. But yeah, let's just see while the teams warm up. But yeah, against the game against Boa was really, I didn't expect us to. I was hoping for us to win, to be honest, because we had a makeshift defense. Boavista, when we played them, we had 3 centre-backs out for the game basically, and so it was really tough to actually think we can come away with a result, let alone a clean sheet and managing to score 2 goals. So it was good to see, because we had 1 centre-back, and the other centre-back was actually our left-back, who can play as a centre-back, but not too comfortably, of course, just competent. He's not absolutely comfortable, or really trained in that position, but just enough to get by. But yeah, we managed to win in the clean sheet in the end, so that was good for us. It looks like Benfica are going to be playing in their red, which makes sense because they are home, and we're going to be switching to our away kit of white. So hopefully we see the white score for today's game. Whoever that was, who's that? Juancar just went in for a crazy 2-foot tackle. I'm just glad he missed. Otherwise, he would have been sent off. But yeah, in recent games, we've really been seeing Danilo have a huge effect. As you can see, he's one of the top goal scorers. Level on 6 goals. He managed to actually score a hat-trick, and playing as a ball-winning midfielder has really helped him. Look at that, we're really dominating this game. Has really helped us because he can unlock really tight Okay, we're going to have a set piece. I thought it was done for a second. Santos, is it a good ball into the box? No, they managed to clear it quite well, but Guyana's got a better chance now. He takes this really strange long-range shot, and instead is Benfica look to hit us on the counter. Can they do that? Will we win this back? Yes, Assis has got an anchor man to Danilo. Speaking of, Fonte, what's he going to do? Raniel, can he score? Oh, he's tackled, but Wilson's through. And yes, one hell of an angle to score from, but we do lead Benfica, and hopefully we have a repeat of the performance we played last time. There you go, that's all that matters. The goal is all that matters. Can we show replays in time? Sorry guys, forgot to do that. Show the replay please. Alright, sorry. Hopefully we'll score more goals and not done. Anyways, yeah, so Danilo has been really helping us with those type of tight defenses. Goiano tried to keep it in. Would have been better to just left it out, considering he's out of position now. Are they going to punish us? Ooh, almost did. Pizzi still can. And yes, he does. There you go. Benfica back in it after really being outperformed. Oh, he's offside. Oh, perfect. Oh, great for us. Yeah, so Danilo is really helping us with those tight defenses who just hold back as much as possible. And the reason is because he's a ball-winning midfielder, a lot of the times he's actually more free than our advanced playmaker to do damage. And he's got a mean long shot on him, long-range shot. I think we can be happy with the boys. Some are nervous, so maybe tell them they're doing a good job. Prefer to tell them that they can push on a bit, but can't expect too much, especially because we weren't favourites for today's game, and Benfica have pushed on in a more attacking formation, 4-2-4, 2 wingers, 2 strikers, really pushed all the way up. So hopefully we can punish them for, you know, trying to be more adventurous. But yeah, so Danilo's been very key to that recently, and that's why we've won against teams who we previously used to draw against. Let's see if we can make some changes. So Fonte is of course tired, so we'll bring on Chaka. No one else in serious fitness concerns. Fonte, I think, just got back from a little knock that he got during one of our games. So it's good for us to see him put in a good performance. I think he managed to get the assist. Yeah, he got the assist at 7.5. That's perfect for us. He really showed up today in a huge game. Let's see who else needs to be subbed. Danilo, Guiano, and Wilson Eduardo. So we'll take off Eduardo. Had a great game for us. Guiano as well. Danilo can stay on for a little bit longer. I'm not sure why he's looking too nervous. He's had a great game. Well, not a great game, but he's had a solid game, I suppose. No yellow cards. He's been very important for us as well, so it's a bit strange to see him be nervous. I think he's a bit worried that Benfica will score. Ooh, and there is a highlight just as I say that. Can we make use of this? Please tell us our substitutions that made the difference. Danilo, he's free again, just like I mentioned. Is he going to do something stupid? He kind of does by losing the ball, but Chaka's made up for him. Polino, good ball into the box. Santos. Oh, what a ball for Raniel. And somehow he hasn't scored that. That was our first clear-cut chance of the game as well. But yeah, we also faced our former players Mora and Bata from last season against Dynamo, so that was very interesting. We managed to get one over of them, of course. We beat them 4-0, so that was a huge win for us, of course, especially because the Europa League we were really starting to underperform. Raniel had the game of the season during that game. That's when he scored that hat-trick. And the only other update in terms of players who want to go out is Fran Sergio, the backup to Assis Anchorman. He's just looking to leave. He's very unhappy with game time. Oh, please don't tell me they don't score on a counter. Oh, we got a penalty. Oh, even better. I don't even mind if we miss this as long as we end up winning the game. Who is it though? Santos, come on, you've scored every penalty for me so far. Please score this one too and wrap up the game. And up he takes it. And he misses. And what a time to miss. But either way, first draw of the season was against our rivals Goimeras. Away from home, it was an okay result because we were still top. It was quite disappointing to still have not beaten our rivals, and I think the fans will be a bit upset about that. But you know, as long as we still stay top, I don't think they'll be too upset. The Benfica game will definitely prove whether we're seriously going to challenge for the title or not, and so it's really good to see that we actually are winning this game. And it looks like the referee will blow his whistle any time now. And it looks like we're very seriously going to be title contenders. We managed to beat Benfica, but of course Sporting are still very close to us, and so will Porto be if they manage to win the game as well. So huge win for my boys. I can't even overestimate or or really, you know, sell my point that this is a huge game, and thankfully we've come away with the 3 points here. Player of the match, Fonte, and I wouldn't disagree. 2 key passes, 1 assist. The pass completion rate of 89% is perfect for an advanced playmaker. You don't want him to be too safe in playing, you know, too safe basically, and keeping the ball too much. We want him to play those risky passes because he's supposed to have the vision and the passing for it. For today's game, I'm pretty sure you guys have noticed, but just in case you didn't, Hassan is finally back from his injury, but unfortunately he wasn't prepared enough yet for this game. He's just came back and he's not fully fit, so he was only there as a substitute. We'll actually have a look at who can play for the next game. So Raniel had a very poor game, so we'll actually bring on Hassan back next, and it should be against the game in the game against Dynamo. So hopefully not too much pressure on him. I think we climbed up into Europa League spot by beating Dynamo. If we do it again, we keep them further down as well. Hopefully Ajax beat Standard once more, just to show you, update you on other cup competitions. So yeah, so if we beat Dynamo again, we'll keep them below. They were above us. If you remember, since the last episode, they were on 3 points. We were on 1. When we beat them, we managed to push them down, and Ajax beat Standard to keep them down there as well. So if Ajax do it again, that's kind of perfect for us. A draw is more of a better result. And if we beat Dynamo again, we'll climb even further. So if Ajax get a draw, they're on 10 points, Standard are on 2, and of course Dynamo will still be on 3 and we'll be on 7, which means we're just 3 points away from Ajax. Which means when we beat them in the very last game of the season, well, if we do, of course, not the season, sorry, the very last game of the group stage, then that would mean we would go top, which would be perfect. Hopefully we will have a better goal difference as well. By then we still have to play Dynamo and Standard before we face Ajax, so hopefully we have that second spot locked down and secure for the next stage. And if we beat Ajax, it'll just be the icing on the cake, really. In terms of Taça de Portugal, so we did draw this team, another semi-professional team. I'm not even going to attempt to, actually, okay, let me attempt to say that. Vila Franquense. Alright, well anyways, that Portuguese semi-professional team, they are in the championship, so not too far down actually. Or is it? Oh yeah, I forgot. It's Portuguese, the way it goes is actually Primeira Liga, Second League, and then Championship. So they are kind of that further down, I suppose. Yeah. They've never been higher than the Championship. Alright, and so we drew them for the Taça de Portugal, so we should comfortably get into the 5th round. Expectations of 6th round. Hopefully we'll do better in cup competitions this year. The only competition we met expectations in last year was actually just the Europa League, so hopefully we can do justice with the Taça de Portugal as well as the Portuguese League Cup. Speaking of which, we already drew our teams: Estoril, Portimonense and Vitesse, so of course we should beat all of them. I think already yep, they're here as well. Estoril, they're all Premier Liga teams, I think. Oh, I think Estoril, they must have gotten relegated last season. I wasn't paying attention. They're 5th in the Portuguese Second League. Yeah, they did get relegated last year. And Vitesse, of course, who we faced early in the season, they're mid-table as well. So we're not going to breeze by, of course, but this is a tough competition because once you qualify from this group stage, you really just go straight into the semi-final. And normally what happens is it's Porto, Sporting, and Benfica are always in the semi-final, so there's only one spot for a 4th team. And hopefully this year it's us, but last year, of course, if you remember, Rio Ave managing to beat us, which is kind of embarrassing considering that they're look to be going to get relegated this season. Anyways, we shouldn't get too carried away with our result. Despite getting 25 points from a possible 30, which is really great for us, of course, we still haven't really gone that into the season just yet. We're 8 games, or 7 games rather, away from being midpoint season. It's been a great start, but unless we keep this up, then we really won't win the league. But so far so good, and hopefully it does continue. In terms of when we'll be back, we always like to come back in 5 games time, so let's keep that up. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We'll show you the Chavez game. Hopefully by then we would have played 1 Premier League game and 2 Europa League. So hopefully we wrapped up the Europa League game, Europa League group stage in qualifying it. And of course the Taça de Portugal hopefully will be in the 5th round as well. And yeah, there won't be too much of an update in the Premier League, but hopefully when we play Belenenses, we manage to win that. And Sporting, who haven't, Porto, who haven't played their game in charge yet, if they win a game in hand, if they win, they go into 22 points, which puts them in 2nd. And of course that would make them 3 points away from us. We will still be able to lose because well, could afford to lose because there's still 6 goal points difference between us. But you know, you don't want to even do that at all. So if Porto lose, that's perfect for us. We're 4 points away from Benfica and Sporting, and long may that continue, really. So yeah, I think that's all for today's episode. If you did enjoy it, then please do, of course, hit the like button and subscribe for more daily Football Manager 2017 content. And as always, guys, thank you all very much for watching.